Now at 10, Countryside Christian Church hosts a poverty simulation for the community of Pittsburgh. Plus, kids in Joplin get creative with a wheel throwing class at Spiva Center for the Arts. And it's rivalry night in Joplin. We'll have the highlights as Missouri Southern hits the hardwood against Pitt State.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Pittsburgh police arrested a man who they say was engaging in a lewd sexual act near a daycare. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Lee Snowy. It happened on a Thursday around 3:30 p.m. Authorities say 18-year-old Walter Lalamo was seen in the act by a daycare on East 13th Street. After a short chase, Lalamo was arrested. He is currently held without bond. Meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney joins us for a first look at weather.
So we had some pretty cool temperatures today, and they're going to continue to drop. Now sitting in the upper 20s as we move into the evening hours tonight, and these wind chill values are still sitting in the single digits. By 6 a.m. Sunday, they're going to get up to the upper single digits, maybe lower teens. So it is still going to be a chilly next few hours, and we have a excessive cold risk due to these wind chill factors, and along with the low being 22 degrees tonight. Now, we don't see any rain or snow in the forecast for the next several days, so we just have to get past this one little cold snap before we have some warmer days and sunny skies. That is until Thursday when we see some rain, and I'll bring you more details in just a bit.
All right, Lindsay, thanks. Well, 12% of Kansans are currently experiencing poverty, and one organization in Pittsburgh is hoping to help people understand what it's like for those in a difficult situation. KOAM Samantha Walker has more.
Over 40 million individuals navigating poverty.
As poverty rates across America continue to rise, people are trying to better understand what struggling families are experiencing. The Cost of Poverty experience is an immersive way to do just that.
So it gives attendees the opportunity to live a month's time in poverty and go through all the stress that we maybe don't realize happens when people live in poverty.
Care Portal and the Southeast Kansas chapter of Safe Families for Children are partnering to offer this experience for the community in Pittsburgh. Each attendee represents a real person who has or is currently experiencing poverty in the United States.
It's awful. No, it's really good, but it's really an eye-opener. It really is. But there's so many facets of it. If you have children, if you're employed, if you're trying to navigate the legal system, all those impact each other a lot, and it's been really eye-opening.
Participants struggle to pay mortgages, buy groceries, find jobs or daycare, and struggle to find transportation. And for parents participating, the experience hits home.
It's no wonder people find themselves in challenging situations when they're doing as much as they can for their child.
Those in the simulation say they plan to use what they learn to help others.
I'm going to reach out and see who I can help in the community. I would love to help somebody try to navigate through where to go and what to do in the process.
In Pittsburgh, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
The simulation was brought to Pittsburgh thanks to a grant from Evergy. To learn more about the Cost of Poverty experience, visit our website. That's KOAMNewsNow.com. The Miami Public Library today welcomed STEAM students from across the four states for STEAM Social. The purpose of the event is to have fun while learning new things. Today's activities included coding, building structures with Legos, creating foam bugs, and dice wars.
We generally come every time they have it. We really enjoy the different activities and something free to do and warm while it's cold in the winter especially.
Today's event was free and open to all ages. Around 35 schools from across the area traveled to Joplin High School today to compete in the Joplin Kaminsky Bullseye Tournament. Over 350 archers, grades 3 through 12, competed in 6 rounds of competition. The tournament serves as a way for the young athletes to challenge themselves.
I've hunted, and I kind of thought that it was cool that the school offered something like that. And I really liked the environment that it brought, and it was something different, and I always loved it.
Brackets for today's tournament consisted of elementary, middle school, and high school archers. Area kids were able to learn how to wheel throw today at the Spiva Center for the Arts. Children ages 8 to 14 created some of their own pieces as instructor Stephanie Roy shared some tips and different wheel throwing techniques. Attendees were able to work on their projects from 10 this morning to noon.
I think starting them off, just experiencing things from a young age can really inspire them to do these things, because most of the kids in the area don't really have a chance to do stuff like this at home. So when they get the chance to come here and do it, and later on they find out, oh, I can do this, then it really makes that connection that they need.
Today's class cost $60 per student. Coming up, we talk to the Springfield TSA about the new rules and regulations for bringing guns on flights. Plus, we take a look at how the buy now, pay later option for consumers can impact your credit score. Springfield set a new record for the number of firearms found at airport security checkpoints. So last week, the TSA held a tutorial. Joe Hickman has what you should know if you want to bring guns on your next flight.
You know the TSA. They're the ones that look through your stuff, make you take off your shoes and belts, and scan your body just so you can ride on a plane. But as intrusive as they are,
we have no issue with passengers taking firearms with them when they travel, as long as they are packaged safely and they are declared and left with the airline to be placed underneath the aircraft.
After a statewide record of 215 firearms detected 2 years ago, the number was down slightly to 212 in 2023, but Springfield's numbers were up last year to a record 23.
So far this year, we're already up to 4, and that includes one that was detected at security checkpoint around 5:25 this morning. We had a loaded Glock in a passenger's carry-on. In almost every instance, the excuse we get from passengers is, oops, I forgot it was in my bag.
So the first thing to remember is,
you can never bring a firearm as a carry-on if you are planning to travel. If you bring it to the security checkpoint, you're going to be subject to a civil penalty of up to $14,950. Local law enforcement is going to get involved. And if you're a member of our TSA pre-check program, you are going to lose your status in that program for a period of up to 5 years.
and as the signs at the airline ticketing area point out, firearms must be checked in baggage, and you must declare it to your airline when you check in. The guns must also be unloaded and locked in a hard-sided container.
And that it has some kind of padding on the inside to hold the items still. Most important thing you need to do is when you get your firearm, remove any magazine, and you're going to make sure no rounds are chambered. So make sure it's completely empty, and you're going to place that empty firearm on the inside of the case. If you plan to take ammunition, you could do that as well. Again, as long as it's stored separate from the firearms that you're carrying. If you shake your magazine and the rounds fall out, you're probably going to want to find another way to secure that ammunition.
The airline will supply you with a declaration card to put inside your locked box to complete the extensive protocol that hopefully verifies that you've done everything right.
I have flown out of several airports with firearms, following the regulations and the rules of locking them up, and have run into a few problems doing even everything right. So I chose personally not to fly with firearms anymore because it can make you late for your airplane.
And if you think the lines are long at the checkpoints normally,
if we have a firearm during a busy part of the morning, we're losing 25 to 33% of our operational capability until that firearm is removed. And that can cause the lines to grow, especially if we're in a busy part of the day.
Inflation is starting to cool off in many areas except for the car market. While gas prices are dropping, consumers are still paying up more for insurance premiums, repairs, and even highway tolls. The New York Federal Reserve Bank reports 7.7% of auto loans went into delinquency in the fourth quarter of 2023. The American Automobile Association says its latest estimates show the annual cost of owning a new car was $12,182 last year. Americans are seeing more offers than ever to buy now, pay later. According to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, it's Americans who aren't as financially stable who are more likely to use a buy now, pay later. New research released by the bank Wednesday shows individuals with a low credit score or who were declined for a credit application or who fell delinquent on a loan in the past year are more than 3 times as likely to use the short-term installment payment option. A little later, Pitt State and Missouri Southern basketball go head-to-head on the court today. We'll have the highlights in sports.
And I'll have the full look at your forecast up next. So if you're outside today, you probably noticed that it was pretty chilly. We had some chill factors down below 0, and they're still in the single digits as we move into tonight. Taking a look at our Indigo Sky Casino and Resort camera, it's clear out there, no clouds, and it looks to be a pretty nice night, other than it is cold with our overnight low being 22 degrees. Now, we don't see any rain or snow in the forecast for the next several days, and you can see there's no more clouds in the area. Those have passed, but we do still have these wind chill factors, single digits, as we move into the overnight hours tonight, and then continuing on morning hours, they're going to get into the lower teens, but they'll start to warm up as we move into Sunday afternoon and the evening times. We see the sun come out, temperatures warm up with our high being 52 degrees, warming up pretty good, especially since our high today was in the lower 30s. So this is a nice 20-degree bump. Now we have calmer winds tomorrow, clear skies, and that slight ridge, which is bringing the warmer temperatures in. Monday, we have this embedded trough just near Omaha. That's bringing some clouds to our area. No rain, just clouds, so we may have a cloudy day on Monday. Then continuing, we're going to have some more sunshine come out Tuesday and Wednesday as this ridge starts to form over our area across the central U.S., so it's a pretty wide ridge, bringing that sinking air and warmer temperatures to our area. Unfortunately, it is short-lived as we see some rain start to make its way in our area Thursday early morning hours. So right after midnight on Wednesday, we may see some showers start to pop up in our southern counties, Veneta and just south of Joplin, getting some rain showers. As we move into the morning hours, 3 a.m., most of the southern counties are completely covered with rain. And with some of these heavier spots, we may see some embedded thunderstorms along with these rain showers. And it's going to stick around all morning. As you're making your way to school or work, you're going to be dealing with some rain showers across the southern counties. It is slow moving, so it's not moving out of our area as quickly as we would like to see it, but it should clear by mid-afternoon on Thursday. Then we're going to see temperatures fall just a bit. So starting the week, we're going on a warming trend up to 72 degrees on Wednesday. I know I'm looking forward to that. And then those showers come in Thursday morning, bringing cooler temperatures. Still not that cold, only in the upper 50s, but they'll warm back up in the end of next weekend, back into the 60s, thankfully.
It was pretty chilly today, I do have to say. And it'll all have been worth it if we get those nice,
a good 4 or 5 days warmer temperatures. I am looking forward to it.
Absolutely, nothing to complain about there. And don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch Weather app. Get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. The KOAM Skywatch Weather app. A unique exhibit at the American Folk Art Museum is adding long overdue context to 125 art objects that represent Black individuals from centuries ago. CBS News' Jared Hill has more on the story from New York.
I think it's fascinating. I mean, you can barely see that he's there.
Yes.
In the shadow of this portrait of a 17th century Boston merchant, a young Black boy he held as a slave.
The simultaneous proximity and distance in which Black householders were forced to live with their enslavers.
It's one of more than 100 pieces on view at the American Folk Art Museum in New York. The exhibition, titled Unnamed Figures, examines Black stories tucked away in art, otherwise depicting everyday life in pre-Civil War New England, part of the country that's often overlooked in discussions of slavery.
Stories of folks that may have been pictured their perspective, their experience, their history, their life story never really part of the conversation.
Whether that's a black woman in a coastal landscape or an enslaved black child painted to look adoringly at their white captors, the curators of the exhibition say they hope it can reframe how we connect with art.
I'm really hoping people will come away with an understanding that it's important to look critically and that there is a story to tell beyond the immediate intention of a painting.
Even rare portraits like these of William and Nancy Lawson, a showcase of New England's burgeoning black wealth, also a tale of ongoing struggle.
They were painted by someone that was sympathetic to the black cause and to striving for human rights.
The exhibit transitions to photography, considered a new beginning for black representation.
A fresh, new technology that really allows black Americans to make their own decisions about self-representation.
Revealing the unseen.
Oh, there you are. There you are.
On their own terms. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
Coming up in sports, Pitt State baseball looks to stay hot at home. Plus, the two local rivals, Missouri Southern and Pitt State, square off. Brock Baldridge will bring us the highlights and more up next.
Well, the two rivals from both of our local schools meet once again. Both the Missouri Southern men's and women's basketball teams defeated Pitt State on the road earlier this season, and now the Gorillas look to return the favor in Joplin this afternoon. Pitt State versus Missouri Southern, a couple of the top women's teams in the MIAA conference going at it. So we start things off in the first quarter. Chrislyn Jones swishes a three-pointer there. A few possessions later, in transition, Jones fires away again, and she led Southern with 19 points this afternoon. But Pitt State looks to adjust. Still in the first, the sharpshooter Grace Pyle buries that three-point shot. Later in the half, it's Corinna Gerber and Grace Pyle showing off good chemistry here, and it's Gerber who puts in the bucket. Gorillas led by 2 points going to the halftime period. So in the second half, Jones fires away but misses, and Brandy Hudson gets the rebound. You can count the basket plus the foul. We had 16 lead changes in this game, but Pitt State starts to go on a run as Pyle hits a huge three down there to put Gorillas up by 4. Closing seconds of the third quarter, Macy May, she heard the chirping, and she beats the buzzer at the end of the third with that three-point shot. And then Grace Pyle, the pump fake and then a splash. Pitt State goes on the road to get the revenge over Missouri Southern. The Gorillas win this game 77-66.
Yeah, I just think it's our trust in each other. You know, I feel like we shared the ball really well. We found the open person with their heavy rotation, and we just trusted each other. It's something we prepared for all week. So in those big moments, I had 100% trust in whoever my teammate was.
Two teams really going at it, and you know, that is the MIAA as far as two really good basketball teams. And usually it's kind of like you win at home, but for two teams to meet each other on the road is tough.
Next game up, the Pitt State men's basketball team is squaring off against their rivals Missouri Southern and Joplin. Opening minutes of the game. Nice little play here as Vincent Sigmund Jr. is up and under to finish the basket. Later in the first, it's the reigning MIAA Player of the Week, Darius Dawson, who goes up strong to get the bucket. And a few possessions later, it's Dawson who goes back to work inside the paint. Darius Dawson finished with 18 points for the Lions today. But Pitt State showing off their muscles in the paint as well as Marquis English drives in to get the roll to go there. Later in the game, it's English who draws more contact to get the bucket. He finished the game with 17 points for Pitt State, but Southern really had the momentum all day with this one as Parker Long misses the three there, but Lawson Jenkins is there for the putback. Then just before halftime, Avery Tagger is open, nothing but net. Missouri Southern goes on to win a close one, 75-72. The Lions have now won 3 straight games. Well, we've already hit the third weekend of the softball season. The Missouri Southern Lions are off to a 9-3 start to begin the year. Now the Lions look for more success in day 2 of the Raising Cane's Festival softball tournament. The Lions split their 2 opening games on Friday, so today Missouri Southern faces Washita Baptist. The Lions win that game 6-3. Now Southern originally had another game scheduled against Oklahoma Baptist later tonight, but that game was canceled due to low temperatures. Over to Pittsburgh now. This afternoon, the Gorillas team opens the first of a 3-game series against Southwest Baptist. Gorillas win this game 11-1. Over to Division I men's hoops. Kansas on the road facing the Oklahoma Sooners in the first half. Javian McCullen knocks down the three to put the Sooners up by 10. Second half now. Kansas down by 5. Off the steal, DeJuan Harris goes over to Johnny Furphy, who takes off and finishes the slam. KU now down by 3. Later in the second half, game tied at 43 apiece. Jalen Moore finds Sam Godwin. He gets the dunk plus the foul. Now OU leads by 3 after that made free throw. So 8 minutes left in the game. Kansas on the fast break. Here's Johnny Furphy, who answers the call just what the Jayhawks needed from him this season. He sinks the three-point shot from the corner. Kansas now leads by 6. 2 minutes left in the game. Hunter Dickinson, he's just too tall, and you can see why. He is hard to stop. Big dunk there off the putback. Kansas beats OU on the road 67-57. Well, that's your looks for sports. We'll be back right after this.
To be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. An Oklahoma woman is about to turn 100 years old, but it's really only her 25th birthday. Mary Forsyth was born on February 29th, 1924, Leap Day. Since leap years only come around every 4 years, she will technically celebrate her 25th birthday this year. During non-leap years, people like Mary usually celebrate their birthday on either February 28th or March 1st. I would love to be born on Leap Day.
Oh yeah, it would be pretty cool.
Be fun. All right, final check of the forecast.
So we do have warmer temperatures ahead. Unfortunately tonight there's an excessive cold risk due to the overnight low being 22 degrees and those wind chill factors being in the low teens. But taking a look all the way through Wednesday, getting up to 72 degrees, and then showers with possibly some thunderstorms embedded in those showers on Thursday. But for the most part, looking to be a pretty average week ahead of us.
Absolutely gorgeous day ahead. Well, that's our time for now. From all of us here in the studio, have a great evening.